The information provided in this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only and does not constitute professional travel, financial, legal, or corporate logistical advice. While the data presented is based on historical trends and specific case studies of corporate travel within the Southeast Asian sector, individual experiences and potential outcomes may vary based on seasonal fluctuations, corporate contract negotiations, and evolving hotel policies. Viewers are strongly encouraged to conduct their own due diligence, consult with their corporate travel departments, and verify current rates and amenities before making any professional lodging commitments. The creator of this content assumes no liability for decisions made based on the information provided herein. Every year, thousands of high-level American executives and mid-level managers board 17-hour direct flights from Newark or Los Angeles to Singapore Changi Airport, only to realize within 48 hours that they have made a strategic error that will cost their company thousands of dollars in lost productivity. This is known among international logistics experts as the Singapore slump. It is a documented phenomenon where the sheer physiological tax of a 12 to 15-hour time zone shift is exacerbated by poor lodging choices, leading to a measurable decline in cognitive performance during critical negotiations. Imagine landing in a city that operates at a lightning-fast pace, where the humidity is a constant factor, and finding yourself trapped in a luxury resort that is beautiful for a vacation but functionally useless for a professional who needs to be in the heart of the Tanjong Pagar financial district by 8 a.m. In the world of high-stakes U.S.-Singapore business relations, the distance between your pillow and your first meeting is not just a matter of convenience. It is a matter of ROI. Historical trends in corporate travel management suggest that a single hour of transit friction in a foreign city can result in a 20% increase in executive burnout during a 5-day summit. We have seen case studies where multimillion-dollar deals were stalled simply because an American lead was struggling with the logistical disconnect between their hotel's location and the Shenton Way power corridor. The traditional mindset for the U.S. business traveler has often been to prioritize name-brand loyalty or generic 5-star luxury, but the modern landscape of the Singaporean economy demands a more tactical approach. We are currently witnessing a shift where efficiency, localized connectivity, and specific suite configurations are outweighing the allure of grand lobbies and infinity pools. The M Hotel Singapore represents a fascinating case study in this shift. It is a property that has been architecturally and operationally designed to cater to the specific rhythms of the international professional. If you are flying in from New York, Chicago, or San Francisco, you are dealing with a body clock that is exactly the opposite of the local environment. You are fighting a battle against your own biology, while trying to compete with local firms that are operating on home turf advantage. The choice of where you stay is your first strategic move in that battle. Most travelers choose a hotel based on a pretty photo of a view. The professional traveler chooses a hotel based on its proximity to the fiber optic pulse of the city and its ability to facilitate a seamless transition from a sleep state to a high-performance state. This deep dive masterclass is designed to solve the primary friction points that U.S. business travelers face when entering the Singaporean market. By the end of this 10-part series, you will understand how to optimize every facet of your stay to ensure that your time in the Lion City is characterized by professional success rather than logistical frustration. We are going to break down why the Tanjong Pagar district is the only logical choice for an American executive, the specific room types that serve as mobile command centers rather than just bedrooms, and the often overlooked amenities that can shave hours off your weekly administrative load. This is not a simple review. It is a tactical manual for navigating one of the most competitive business environments on the planet. We are solving the problem of the disconnected traveler, the person who arrives in Singapore feeling like a tourist and leaves feeling like they never truly got a foothold in the local corporate ecosystem. For the American professional, time is the most expensive commodity. When you are paying for premium economy or business class flights, you are already making a significant investment in your physical readiness. To then squander that readiness by staying in a location that requires a 40-minute commute through the city's heat is a failure of resource management. We will examine potential outcomes for those who leverage the M Hotel's specific location versus those who stay in the more tourist-centric areas like Orchard Road or Sentosa. Historically, the data shows that travelers staying within the Central Business District, CBD, report a 30% higher satisfaction rate regarding their ability to attend impromptu networking events, which are the lifeblood of Singaporean business culture. In Singapore, the real deals often happen in the minutes following a formal meeting, over a quick coffee, or during a walk to a nearby office. If your hotel is 3 miles away, you are out of the loop. If your hotel is the M Hotel, you are the hub. We are also going to address the specific technological requirements of the U.S. workforce. The American business model relies heavily on cloud-based collaboration and real-time communication with home offices that are operating while Singapore sleeps. This requires a specific type of infrastructure, high-speed, low-latency connectivity and ergonomic workspaces that are not just an afterthought in a corner of a room. We will analyze how M Hotel has structured its business suites to serve as a literal extension of your home office, allowing for seamless Zoom or Teams integration without the typical lag associated with standard hotel Wi-Fi. We will look at case studies of U.S. tech firms that have utilized these spaces to maintain 24-hour operations during critical product launches. Furthermore, we will dive into the physiological side of the stay. For a U.S. traveler, them in M Hotel might as well stand for maintenance. Maintaining your health, your sleep cycle, and your nutritional standards in a foreign country is a monumental task. We will explore the dining options and wellness facilities through the lens of a busy professional who does not have time for a 2-hour sit-down meal but requires high-quality, nutritious fuel to sustain a 16-hour workday. We will look at how the hotel's proximity to local amenities, like the 24-hour convenience hubs and high-end fitness centers, creates a productivity bubble that protects the traveler from the external stressors of an unfamiliar city. The promise of this masterclass is total clarity. You will no longer have to guess which floor to request, which breakfast option will save you the most time, or how to navigate the local transport links from the hotel's front door. We are providing a step-by-step breakdown of how to utilize the M Hotel Singapore as a leveraged tool for your career. Whether you are a solo consultant looking to make a mark in Southeast Asia or a corporate VP managing a regional team, the insights provided here will transform your perception of business travel from a grueling necessity into a streamlined competitive advantage. We are going to look at the historical trends of the Tanjong Pagar area's development and why it has become the preferred landing zone for Fortune 500 companies. This is about more than just a bed. It is about positioning yourself in the center of the action. By the time we conclude Part 10, you will have a comprehensive understanding of why this specific property is the undisputed choice for the discerning U.S. professional, and you will be equipped with the knowledge to make your next trip to Singapore the most productive of your career. We are peeling back the layers of the hospitality industry to show you the gears and cogs that make a hotel a business tool. Let us begin this deep dive by looking at the geographical reality of Singapore and why the M Hotel's coordinates are its most valuable asset. To understand why M Hotel stands as a strategic pillar for the American executive, we must first analyze the physical layout of Singapore's economic engine. Singapore is not just a city. It is a meticulously planned grid where 5 minutes of distance can be the difference between a successful closing and a logistical nightmare. In the current 2026 business landscape, the Tanjong Pagar district has evolved from a historic port area into the undisputed Silicon Valley of the East, blended seamlessly with the traditional power of the financial district. When you look at a map of the Central Business District, or CBD, M Hotel sits at the southern apex of Anson Road. This is not just a prestigious address. It is a tactical advantage. Imagine a character named Alex, a senior vice president of operations for a logistics firm based in Houston. It is a humid Tuesday morning in March 2026. The strategic value of this location extends into the concept of the third space. In business, the meeting doesn't always happen in the boardroom. It happens in the lobby, the coffee shop, or the nearby bistro. Because M Hotel is nestled among towers like Mapletree Anson and International Plaza, the hotel itself becomes a natural gravitational point for local partners. It is significantly easier to convince a high-level Singaporean executive to meet you for a quick debrief if you are located in their own backyard. You are not asking them to travel to a tourist zone. You are asking them to walk across the street. This localized presence signals to your Singaporean counterparts that you are serious, that you understand the value of their time, and that you are integrated into the city's professional rhythm. Furthermore, we must address the 2026 expansion of the Greater Southern Waterfront. This massive urban redevelopment project begins right at the doorstep of the Tanjong Pagar area. As a U.S. business traveler, staying at M Hotel puts you at the frontier of Singapore's future growth. Historical trends in real estate and corporate relocation show that businesses are increasingly moving toward this southern corridor. By positioning yourself here, you are not just in the center of where business is happening today, you are in the center of where the next decade of investment is being funneled. Another critical factor is the atmospheric control. Singapore's climate is a factor that must be managed like any other business risk. The heat and humidity are constant. A major pain point for American professionals who are used to climate-controlled environments is the sweat factor. If you stay in a hotel that requires even a 15-minute outdoor walk to your meeting, you will arrive with a damp dress shirt and a compromised professional image. M Hotel's specific location allows for a series of sheltered walks and underground links. You can navigate much of the immediate area through air-conditioned malls and covered walkways. This allows Alex, our executive from Houston, to maintain his sharp, professional appearance from the moment he leaves his room until he shakes hands in the boardroom. We also need to look at the post-work environment, which is vital for mental clarity and networking. Tanjong Pagar is famous for its blend of modern skyscrapers and historic shophouses. Just a few blocks behind the hotel, you find the Amoy Street and Telok Air areas. These are the premier dining and networking districts for the city's elite. In 2026, these areas are filled with high-end Michelin-starred restaurants and sophisticated bars that serve as the after-hours hubs for the finance and tech industries. For a U.S. traveler, this means that your professional networking does not have to end when the office closes. You can host a dinner for clients and be back in your room within minutes, rather than facing a long commute back to a distant hotel. Case studies of US-based consulting firms have shown that their consultants who stay in the CBD report lower levels of travel fatigue and higher levels of engagement with local clients. The data suggests that when the environment facilitates easy movement, the traveler is more likely to say yes to an extra meeting or a networking event. The friction of distance is a silent killer of opportunity. At M Hotel, that friction is reduced to near zero. But location is only the surface of the strategy. While the coordinates give you the edge during the day, what happens inside the walls of the hotel determines your performance for the next 24 hours. For the US traveler, the biggest enemy isn't the competition or the humidity. It is the clock. The 12 to 15-hour time difference between the US and Singapore is a physiological wall that can shut down even the most seasoned traveler. Most hotels treat a room as a place to sleep, but for the international business person, the room must function as a high-performance recovery suite and a mobile command center. In the next part of this deep dive, we are going to look inside the specific room configurations at M Hotel and uncover the hidden features that are designed specifically to kill jet lag and keep you connected to your home office in the States. We will explore why the desk chair in your suite might be more important than the bed, and how the hotel's infrastructure handles the massive data demands of a 2026 remote work setup. If you think all business suites are created equal, you are about to see why certain design choices at M Hotel are specifically engineered to give you a cognitive advantage over your jet-lagged peers. What is the one-room feature that can save you 3 hours of administrative work? We will find out next. That one-room feature, which effectively reclaims 3 hours of your professional life, is the integrated 24/7 virtual office suite, a seamless fusion of physical ergonomics and digital administrative support that functions while you sleep. To understand why this is a game changer, we must look at the specific challenges faced by a professional like Sarah, a lead fintech architect from San Francisco. In March 2026, Sarah is tasked with overseeing a critical software integration for a major Singaporean bank. Her schedule is a nightmare of conflicting time zones. She has to be physically present for 9 a.m. stakeholder meetings in Singapore, but her core development team is back in California, operating on a 15-hour delay. Without the specific infrastructure found in M Hotel's premier and club rooms, Sarah would spend at least 3 hours every day on low-value administrative friction, finding compatible power adapters, troubleshooting spotty hotel Wi-Fi, coordinating laundry for her high-humidity commutes, and hunting for a quiet place to take a 2 a.m. video call. M Hotel eliminates this friction through a design philosophy that treats the room as a high-output workstation first and a sleeping quarter second. When Sarah enters her room, the first thing she notices isn't the bed, but the workstation. In 2026, the standard for a U.S. business traveler is no longer just a flat surface and a chair. Historical trends in remote work have dictated a need for true ergonomics. The desk in an M Hotel suite is positioned to maximize productivity. It is equipped with a high-back ergonomic chair that provides the necessary lumbar support for a 6-hour coding or strategy session. Imagine if Sarah had to work from a standard hotel vanity chair. The resulting back strain would lead to a measurable drop in her cognitive focus by day 3. The technological backbone of this workspace is where the time-saving truly happens. While most hotels offer generic Wi-Fi, M Hotel has integrated Wi-Fi 7 infrastructure, providing the low-latency bandwidth required for the heavy data packet Sarah's fintech team is pushing through the cloud. Step by step, Sarah's setup looks like this. She arrives, connects her MacBook and iPad to the universal power hubs, which importantly do not require her to dig for US to Singapore Type-G adapters, and immediately syncs with the room's smart interface. This interface allows her to cast her secondary screen to the large format wall-mounted monitor, creating a dual-screen environment that is essential for complex data analysis. Case studies of high-performance travelers show that dual-screen setups increase task completion speed by up to 25%. By having this pre-configured, Sarah avoids the usual hour-long struggle of trying to work off a single laptop screen in a cramped environment. Now, let us address the physiological battle of the 12-hour flip. For a US traveler, the first 48 hours in Singapore are a fog of circadian rhythm disruption. Potential outcomes for a traveler who fails to manage this include executive burnout and critical errors in judgment during negotiations. M Hotel addresses this through their advanced sleep systems and environmental controls. The rooms feature total-out blackout curtains with a motorized track system that ensures zero light leakage. This is crucial for Sarah because at 2 p.m. Singapore time, her body thinks it is 11 p.m. in San Francisco. To stay sharp, she may need a 90-minute tactical nap. In a standard hotel room with poor light masking, her brain would struggle to enter deep REM sleep. At M Hotel, the environment is engineered to force-start the recovery process. The 3-hour time-saving feature also extends into the hotel's administrative integration. For the US traveler, the mundane task of garment care is a significant time sink. Singapore's humidity means you cannot wear a suit more than once without professional pressing. Sarah utilizes the executive club perks, which include a streamlined, prioritized laundry and pressing service. Instead of spending 40 minutes of her evening calling housekeeping, filling out forms, and worrying about her wardrobe for the next day, she simply places her items in the designated valet closet. The hotel's system is designed so that by the time she wakes up for her early morning call with California, her attire is refreshed and ready. This automated workflow is what allows her to focus entirely on her mission-critical tasks, rather than the logistics of her existence. Furthermore, we must consider the soundscaping of the room. In the heart of the Tanjong Pagar district, external noise could be a major distractor. However, the M Hotel utilizes triple-glazed acoustic glass and specialized wall insulation. Imagine if Sarah was in the middle of a high-stakes board presentation via Zoom at midnight, and the sound of Singapore's nightlife or early morning traffic bled into her microphone. It would compromise her professional image. The silence of the M Hotel suite acts as a professional vacuum, ensuring that her virtual presence is as controlled as her physical one. We also see a significant advantage in the way the room handles the 2026 always-on culture. The bedside controls are not just for lights. They are integrated hubs that allow Sarah to monitor her room's energy usage, order a nutrient-dense meal from the 24-hour business menu, and schedule a wake-up call that includes a pre-ordered espresso delivered to her door. This level of granular control means Sarah never has to leave her flow state. If she is in the zone at 1 a.m. working on a proposal, she doesn't have to break that concentration to figure out how to get a caffeine boost or a high-protein snack. Case studies of US-based consulting firms frequently highlight that the most successful international assignments are those where the traveler's domestic habits are least interrupted. M Hotel's room configuration mimics the high-efficiency home offices of Silicon Valley and New York. The placement of charging ports, the height of the desk, the intensity of the task lighting, measured specifically to reduce eye strain during long nights, are all calibrated to the expectations of the American workforce. But even with the perfect room and the perfect tech, a business traveler cannot survive on productivity alone. There is a secondary environment within the M Hotel that functions as the ultimate leverage point for the US professional, a place where the hierarchy of the business world is laid bare, and where the most influential connections are made over a quiet breakfast or a late evening drink. This is where the M Hotel shifts from being a high-end dormitory into a strategic networking weapon. Most travelers walk right past the most powerful room in the building without realizing what they are missing. In the next part, we are going to step out of the individual suite and into the exclusive world of the Executive Club Lounge. We will deconstruct the specific social engineering of this space and show you how to use it to gain access to information and people that you would never find in a standard boardroom. If you have ever wondered how some executives always seem to have the inside track on local market shifts before they are officially announced, the answer lies in the morning ritual at the M Hotel Club Lounge. What is the specific 6 p.m. strategy that can turn a cold lead into a warm partnership? We will break that down in the next section. The The specific 6 p.m. strategy that transforms a cold professional relationship into a warm, high-trust partnership is known as the soft landing pivot. In the context of the M Hotel Executive Club Lounge, this is a meticulously engineered window of time where the formal barriers of the Singaporean boardroom are replaced by the sophisticated hospitality of a private club. To see this in action, imagine a character named Mark, a managing director for a New York-based private equity firm. It is May 2026, and Mark is in the final stages of a complex acquisition involving a local Singaporean shipping conglomerate. The negotiations have been productive but stiff, characterized by the traditional reserve of the local executive team. Mark's strategy is simple yet profoundly effective because of the infrastructure M Hotel provides. Instead of suggesting a high-pressure, 3-hour formal dinner at a crowded restaurant in Marina Bay, which would require navigating traffic and shouting over the ambient noise of 100 other diners, Mark invites his counterpart to the Executive Club Lounge at 6 p.m. for a quick debrief. This is the soft landing. The environment is exclusive, quiet, and elevated above the city's frantic energy. Historical trends in corporate psychology suggest that an informal, controlled environment reduces cortisol levels and fosters a more collaborative mindset. When the local partner arrives, the scene is already set. Mark has secured a corner table overlooking the panoramic expanse of the Tanjong Pagar port, the very industry they are discussing. The lounge offers a curated selection of evening cocktails and premium canapés, allowing the conversation to flow naturally from technical specifications to shared visions. This isn't just about the food, it's about the signal it sends. By hosting in the club lounge, Mark is demonstrating that he has invested in the highest level of local presence. He isn't just a visitor, he is a temporary resident of the city's inner sanctum. Case studies of successful cross-border mergers often highlight these interstitial moments, the 20 minutes between the end of the workday and the beginning of the evening, as the periods where the most significant breakthroughs occur. In this setting, the partner feels respected but not pressured, leading to potential outcomes where secondary deal terms are resolved with a handshake before the sun has even set. But the strategic value of the Executive Club Lounge begins long before the sun goes down. For the U.S. traveler, the morning ritual is where the day is either won or lost. Let's look at the alternative. Imagine if Mark had to navigate the main breakfast hall of a standard hotel during peak hours. He would face a sea of tourists, families, and high-volume noise, all while trying to review his morning briefings and synchronize with his team back in Manhattan. The cognitive load required to simply find a quiet table and a reliable cup of coffee in a chaotic environment is a drain on his mental bandwidth. At the M Hotel Club Lounge, the morning experience is the polar opposite. Step by step, the ritual is designed for maximum efficiency. Mark arrives at 7 a.m. The staff, who often recognize regular business guests by name, have already prepared a quiet workspace for him. The breakfast spread is a high-protein, high-quality array that caters to both international and local palates, ensuring he gets the precise nutrition needed for a 10-hour day of meetings. Most importantly, the lounge offers a level of silence that is impossible to find in the public areas. This allows Mark to spend 45 minutes in deep focus, responding to urgent emails that came in while he was asleep and preparing his talking points for the 9 a.m. session. Historical trends show that executives who start their day in a low-friction, high-service environment report a 20% increase in overall daily productivity. We also have to consider the social engineering of the space. In 2026, the M Hotel Executive Club Lounge is not just a room. It is a filter. The people you encounter here are your peers. You are sitting next to regional directors, tech founders, and international consultants. For the American professional, this provides a secondary layer of passive networking. While you aren't necessarily handing out business cards over the muesli, you are existing in a space where the ambient information is relevant to your world. You might overhear a brief conversation about a new regulatory shift in the MAS, or a recent logistics bottleneck at the port. This is the kind of boots-on-the-ground intelligence that you cannot get from a Google search or a Bloomberg terminal. The Club Lounge also functions as a critical fallback for the 2026 flexible work model. There are moments when a guest like Mark needs a professional setting that is more formal than his bedroom, but less daunting than a rented boardroom. The lounge features integrated private meeting nooks and high-speed, dedicated Wi-Fi channels that are separate from the main hotel guest network. This ensures that even during peak usage times, the connection remains stable for high-definition video conferencing. If a last-minute call with the New York office is required at 10 p.m. Singapore time, Mark can step into the quietude of the lounge, utilize the business center facilities, and conduct his meeting with the backdrop of the Singapore skyline, projecting a level of professional stability that reflects well on his firm. The data on executive travel in 2026 indicates that the modern professional is increasingly looking for a holistic ecosystem, rather than just a place to store their luggage. The Executive Club at M Hotel delivers this through a combination of physical comfort and tactical utility. It removes the minor annoyances that add up to major fatigue. For instance, the personalized check-in and check-out services within the lounge save an average of 30 minutes of standing in line at the main lobby. Over a 5-day trip, these saved increments of time add up to several hours of additional sleep or preparation time. Furthermore, the lounge provides a physical transition point between the intense heat of the Singaporean street and the focused environment of the work suite. After a series of meetings in the city, returning to the club lounge for a quick refreshment and a change of pace allows the traveler to reset their mental state. This is particularly important for U.S. travelers who are already battling the physiological tax of jet lag. The ability to decompress in a space that feels like a high-end office meets private library is a significant factor in maintaining long-term peak performance. However, as vital as the club lounge is for strategy and networking, it is only one part of the sustenance puzzle. The physical engine of the business traveler requires more than just canapes and coffee. To survive a week in the high-intensity Singaporean market, you need a dining strategy that is as robust as your business plan. Most travelers fail because they either eat too much heavy local food that induces lethargy, or they rely on bland room service that fails to satisfy. In the next part of our masterclass, we are going to dive into the culinary architecture of the M Hotel. We will explore why the Café 2000 and the buffet restaurant are not just dining rooms, but essential fuel stations for the international executive. We will break down the specific dishes that are engineered for high-energy afternoons and the one dining secret that can save you from the dreaded 3 p.m. slump. If you want to know how to eat like a local pro while maintaining the energy of a U.S. athlete, the next section is for you. We are going beyond the menu to look at the logistics of high-performance nutrition in the heart of the CBD. What is the one meal you should never skip if you want to dominate your afternoon negotiations? We will find out next. The one meal you should never skip if you want to dominate your afternoon negotiations is the high-protein executive set lunch, specifically engineered at Café 2000 to prevent the metabolic crash that ruins so many international business trips. To understand the gravity of this, let us look at the case study of Robert, a lead negotiator for a Chicago-based renewable energy firm visiting Singapore in June 2026. Robert is in the middle of a high-stakes contract finalization with a regional government body. His 1 p.m. lunch is the only window he has between a grueling morning session and a decisive 3 p.m. boardroom presentation. In a city like Singapore, the temptation for a U.S. traveler is to head to the nearest hawker center to experience the world-famous local street food. While the culinary appeal is undeniable, the potential outcomes for a business traveler on a tight schedule can be disastrous. Historical trends in traveler health suggest that the heavy carbohydrate load of a traditional laksa or a mountain of chicken rice, combined with the intense midday heat of the city, triggers a massive insulin spike followed by a cognitive fog. For Robert, this would mean walking into his 3 p.m. meeting with his brain effectively in power save mode. He would be fighting his own biology just to stay alert during the critical closing arguments of his deal. This is where the M Hotel's dining architecture acts as a performance enhancer. Café 2000, located on the ground floor, is designed to be the ultimate power lunch hub for the Anson Road corridor. For Robert, the step-by-step advantage begins with the environment. Unlike the chaotic, humid atmosphere of a public food center, Café 2000 offers a climate-controlled, high-ceiling space that allows his core temperature to drop after walking back from an office block. This physical cooling is the first step in maintaining cognitive sharpness. The menu at Café 2000 in 2026 has been refined to meet the specific needs of the high-performance professional. Robert opts for the executive set, which focuses on premium proteins and low glycemic index vegetables. Imagine if Robert selects the charcoal-grilled Australian Wagyu or the sustainably sourced Singaporean barramundi. These are clean fuels. They provide sustained energy release without the heavy food coma associated with starch-heavy meals. The kitchen at M Hotel understands the American palate, but elevates it with subtle local infusions, allowing Robert to feel he is experiencing the city without the digestive risk of a high-fat street meal. The data on executive performance suggests that professionals who maintain a stable glucose level throughout the day are 28% more likely to successfully navigate complex negotiation hurdles in the afternoon. Furthermore, we must analyze the speed of service. In 2026, the U.S. business culture still operates on the tight 60. The expectation that a lunch break should be productive but not a multi-hour ordeal. M Hotel's service staff are trained specifically for the CBD rhythm. They understand that for a guest like Robert, a 15-minute delay in his main course is not just an inconvenience. It is a threat to his afternoon schedule. The integrated digital ordering system used at the table allows Robert to customize his meal for specific dietary requirements, such as keto or gluten-free, with a level of precision that a street vendor simply cannot match. This degree of control is a psychological win, giving the traveler a sense of agency in an unfamiliar environment. But the culinary strategy at M Hotel doesn't end with a quick lunch. For the evening, the tactical requirements shift from speed and focus to networking and recovery. This brings us to the buffet restaurant, located on the second level. This is not your standard hotel buffet. It is a meticulously curated showcase of premium seafood and international cuisine that serves as a high-stakes hospitality tool. Imagine if Robert needs to host a victory dinner or a team-building session for his local Singaporean counterparts. Hosting a dinner in a foreign city is a logistical minefield. You have to account for diverse dietary preferences, noise levels for conversation, and the quality of the food. In 2026, the buffet at M Hotel has become a landmark for its halal-certified spread, which is a massive strategic advantage in the multicultural Singaporean business world. By choosing a venue that is inclusive of all religious and dietary requirements without sacrificing premium quality, like the signature seafood on ice or the live carving stations, Robert signals a high level of cultural intelligence and respect for his local partners. Historical trends in corporate entertainment show that a buffet setting actually facilitates better team bonding than a formal sit-down dinner. It allows guests to move around, interact at different stations, and customize their experience. This reduces the pressure on the head of the table and creates a more fluid, relaxed environment where the real unscripted business conversations take place. Case studies of U.S. firms operating in Southeast Asia highlight that the strongest partnerships are often forged during these informal, high-quality dining experiences where the host has removed all the friction of choice for the guests. We also need to consider the late-night requirements of the U.S. traveler. Because of the 15-hour time difference, Robert might find himself wide awake and hungry at 2 a.m. Singapore time, which is 11 a.m. in Chicago. In many hotels, his only option would be a limited, overpriced room service menu. M Hotel, however, utilizes its 24-hour business dining infrastructure to offer nutrient-dense options at all hours. Whether it is a late-night high-protein snack to fuel a call with the home office or a light, recovery-focused soup, the hotel ensures that the traveler's biological clock is supported rather than ignored. The nutritional logistics at M Hotel are a perfect microcosm of the hotel's overall philosophy. Identify the specific pain points of the international traveler and solve them through precision engineering. For the U.S. executive, the pain is the loss of control over their diet and energy levels. M Hotel restores that control. By providing a gastronomic bridge between the familiar and the exotic, the hotel ensures that its guests are never sidelined by their own stomachs. However, even the most perfectly fueled body will eventually succumb to the physical toll of international travel if it is not maintained. The modern executive doesn't just need to eat right, they need to move. In a city where you are constantly moving between air-conditioned offices and sweltering streets, your physical resilience is your last line of defense against burnout. Most business travelers treat the hotel gym as an afterthought, a cramped room in the basement with a single broken treadmill. But for the U.S. professional who treats their body like a high-performance machine, the maintenance facilities are just as important as the boardroom. In the next part of our deep dive, we are going to step out of the dining room and into the wellness ecosystem of the M Hotel. We are going to look at the rooftop sanctuary that serves as the ultimate reset button for your nervous system. We will explore how to use the pool and the high-end fitness center not just for exercise, but as a tactical tool for forcing your body to synchronize with the Singaporean time zone. What is the blue light strategy that uses the Singaporean sun and the M Hotel pool to kill jet lag in 24 hours? We will break down that physiological hack next. The blue light strategy is a biological reset protocol that leverages the specific atmospheric conditions of Singapore to force your internal clock to synchronize with the local time zone in record time. To see how this works in a real-world scenario, let us look at the case study of David, a chief technology officer for a cybersecurity firm based in Washington, D.C. It is April 2026, and David has just landed at Changi Airport after a grueling series of flights totaling 22 hours of travel time. When he checks into M Hotel at 8:30 a.m., his body thinks it is 8:30 p.m. the previous day. His brain is screaming for melatonin, his cortisol levels are erratic, and he has a critical partnership meeting at 2 p.m. Most travelers in David's position make a fatal error. They go to their room, close the blackout curtains, and try to sleep for 3 hours. Historical trends in chronobiology suggest that this is the worst possible move. By sleeping during the day, David would be reinforcing his US-based circadian rhythm, ensuring that he will be wide awake at 3 a.m. and a cognitive zombie during his afternoon meetings. Instead, David employs the blue light strategy at the M Hotel rooftop pool and wellness deck. The step-by-step execution of this strategy begins with immediate light exposure. Singapore is located almost exactly on the equator, meaning the intensity of the natural blue light spectrum from the sun is significantly higher than in most parts of the United States. This light is the primary signal for the suprachiasmatic nucleus in the brain to stop the production of melatonin and start the production of serotonin and cortisol. By heading straight to the outdoor pool area on the 9th floor, David exposes his retinas to the massive influx of natural light required to override his jet lag. Imagine if David simply sits by the pool for 45 minutes. The M Hotel pool deck is an architectural oasis designed to provide both sun and shade. For the US traveler, this isn't just a leisure area. It is a medical-grade recovery zone. David doesn't even need to swim to see the potential outcomes. By just being in that environment, his body begins to realize that it is morning. However, the true hack is the temperature contrast. The water in the M Hotel pool is kept at a refreshing temperature that provides a mild thermic shock. When David takes a quick 10-minute lap, the cool water constricts his blood vessels, and then upon exiting, the Singaporean warmth causes them to dilate. This vasodilation increases blood flow to the brain, providing a natural, non-caffeinated boost in alertness. Case studies of elite athletes traveling for international competitions show that this combination of high-intensity light and thermic contrast can reduce the perceived symptoms of jet lag by up to 50% within the first 12 hours. For David, this means that by 11 a.m., he has successfully suppressed the urge to sleep. He has effectively tricked his brain into thinking it has had a full night's rest. But the wellness ecosystem at M Hotel goes deeper than just the pool. We have to look at the 24-hour fitness center. For an American professional like David, who might be used to a specific high-intensity interval training or powerlifting routine, the equipment quality is paramount. M Hotel provides a range of modern resistance machines and free weights that allow for a full-body workout. The strategic value here is the timing. In 2026, we understand that physical exertion is a powerful Zeitgeber, or time giver. By performing a moderate intensity workout at 11:30 a.m., David further anchors his body to the Singaporean workday. Let us look at the data. Historical trends in corporate wellness indicate that executives who engage in at least 20 minutes of physical activity upon arrival in a new time zone report 30% higher focus scores in their initial meetings. The M Hotel Fitness Center is positioned with floor-to-ceiling windows that overlook the city. This is not just for the view. It keeps the traveler connected to the urban rhythm they are about to enter. David can see the traffic moving on Anson Road, he can see the activity in the surrounding office towers, and he can mentally prepare for his 2 p.m. meeting while his body is physically waking up. There is also the factor of the outdoor jacuzzi and the spa facilities. After his workout and his light exposure, David utilizes the jacuzzi for a focused 15-minute session. This is the relaxation phase of the protocol. It lowers his blood pressure and reduces the muscle tension accumulated from 22 hours in a pressurized airplane cabin. For a U.S. business traveler, the ability to shed that physical travel weight before putting on a suit is a massive psychological advantage. You are not just presenting your ideas, you are presenting your physical presence. If you look exhausted, your ideas may be perceived as less robust. If you look refreshed, tanned from the equatorial sun, and physically fit, you command the room. Furthermore, we must consider the hydration and nutritional support available at the poolside. M Hotel offers a curated menu of antioxidant-rich juices and light snacks that are designed for recovery. David avoids the heavy club sandwich and instead opts for a green juice and a protein-focused light bite. This prevents the digestive system from drawing energy away from the brain, which is a common cause of post-lunch lethargy. The M Hotel Wellness Deck serves as a transition zone, a decompression chamber between the artificial environment of the airplane and the high-pressure environment of the Singaporean CBD. For David, this 90-minute ritual has cost him nothing but time, but it has saved his entire business trip. Potential outcomes for those who do not utilize such a facility include missed nuances in conversation, slower reaction times during negotiations, and a general sense of malaise that can last for days. In the 2026 landscape of international business, your body is your most important piece of hardware. M Hotel's investment in its rooftop facilities shows a deep understanding of this reality. They are not providing a gym because it's a checkbox on a hotel rating form. They are providing a high-performance maintenance bay for the global elite. But even with your biology reset and your body fueled, there is one more logistical hurdle that can break a U.S. business traveler: the technical infrastructure of the business meeting itself. In Singapore, a city that prides itself on being a global smart nation, your tech game has to be flawless. Whether you are hosting a small team huddle or a large-scale seminar, the physical space where you conduct your business must match the sophistication of your goals. In the next part of this masterclass, we are going to leave the rooftop and head into the high-tech heart of the M Hotel's meeting and event spaces. We will explore why the hotel's function rooms are the preferred choice for U.S. firms launching new products in Asia. We will break down the specific audiovisual capabilities that ensure your presentation looks as good in Singapore as it did in your home office. And we will look at the secret meeting concierge service that handles the problems you didn't even know you had. What is the one tech failure that ruins 40% of international presentations, and how does M Hotel ensure it never happens to you? We will uncover that next. The one tech failure that ruins 40% of international presentations is the latency-induced handshake failure during hybrid synchronization. In the business landscape of 2026, we are no longer just dealing with a simple HDMI plug-and-play setup. We are dealing with a complex ecosystem of cloud-based collaboration, real-time AI translation, and high-bandwidth video streaming that must connect a physical room in Singapore to a virtual boardroom in the United States. Historical trends in corporate communications show that the first 7 minutes of a meeting are the most critical for establishing authority. When those 7 minutes are spent fumbling with dongles, waiting for a Wi-Fi signal to stabilize, or troubleshooting a frozen screen, the potential outcomes for the presenter are a measurable loss of confidence from stakeholders and a disruption of the persuasive flow. Furthermore, we must analyze the environmental psychology of the 2026 meeting space. M Hotel utilizes an AI-driven lighting and climate control system. As the room fills with people, sensors detect the rise in CO2 levels and temperature, automatically adjusting the airflow to ensure the environment remains optimal for cognitive performance. Historical trends suggest that in crowded, poorly ventilated meeting rooms, decision-making quality drops by 15% after the first hour due to oxygen depletion. By maintaining a crisp, high-oxygen environment, M Hotel ensures that Emily's audience stays sharp and engaged throughout her 2-hour session. But what happens when the unexpected occurs? This is where the meeting concierge service truly proves its value. In Emily's case, 5 minutes before the launch, her London-based CEO discovers a local internet outage at their end. The M Hotel concierge immediately activates a redundant cloud bridge, providing a secondary secure link that stabilizes the connection through an alternative server path. This level of proactive problem-solving is what separates a business-centric hotel from a standard hospitality venue. For Emily, the potential outcomes of this intervention are the difference between a successful multi-million-dollar capital raise and a logistical embarrassment. We also need to consider the post-meeting logistics. In 2026, the meeting doesn't end when the projector turns off. There is a mountain of data, recordings, and transcripts to be processed. M Hotel's business suites are equipped with automated edge computing capabilities that can provide a secured, encrypted recording of the entire session, including an AI-generated summary and action item list, delivered to Emily's private cloud before she has even finished her closing remarks. This saves her at least 2 hours of administrative cleanup, allowing her to transition immediately to the networking phase of her trip. The data for U.S. travelers indicates a high preference for hotels that function as an extension of their corporate headquarters. When you are 10,000 miles away from your IT department, the hotel becomes your IT department. M Hotel's commitment to this level of technical excellence is a primary reason why it remains a top choice for firms in the tech and aerospace sectors. They are providing more than just a room with chairs. They are providing a high-availability environment where the technology is a silent partner in the traveler's success. However, even the most successful meeting requires a pivot. Once the contracts are signed and the presentations are over, the U.S. business traveler faces a new challenge: navigating the transition from the boardroom to the broader city. Singapore is a gateway to the rest of Asia, but it is also a complex urban landscape where the professional and the personal often blur. To truly master the Singaporean assignment, you need to understand the logistics of movement and the hidden shortcuts that only the most seasoned travelers know. In the next part of our masterclass, we are going to step outside the hotel lobby and look at the M Hotel as a tactical launchpad for regional expansion. We will explore the secret transport links and the specific concierge hacks that can get you from your room to a private jet terminal or a cross-border ferry in record time. We will break down why the hotel's specific exit points are designed for the high-speed transit of the 2026 executive. If you have ever felt trapped by the pace of a foreign city, you are about to learn how to move through Singapore like a ghost. What is the one transport secret that saves the elite traveler 4 hours on a regional day trip? We will uncover the logistics of the perfect departure next. The one transport secret that saves the elite traveler 4 hours on a regional day trip is known as intermodal synchronicity, a logistics strategy that leverages M Hotel's unique position as the southern gateway of the central business district. To understand how this works in the high-velocity business world of 2026, let us look at the case study of James, a managing partner for a venture capital firm based in Austin, Texas. James is in Singapore to oversee a series of investments in the burgeoning Southeast Asian tech sector. His Tuesday schedule is a logistical nightmare: a 9 a.m. board meeting at the M Hotel, followed by an urgent site visit to a manufacturing facility in the Nong Sa Digital Park in Batam, Indonesia, and a return to Singapore for a 7 p.m. networking gala at the Fullerton. In a traditional travel scenario, James would lose nearly 4 hours to the friction of cross-border transit. Most travelers staying in the northern or central parts of the city like Orchard Road or Newton would have to fight 30 minutes of traffic just to reach the ferry terminal, navigate the public crowds at harborfront, and deal with the unpredictable queuing at customs. However, because James is staying at M Hotel, his potential outcomes are far more efficient. The step-by-step advantage begins at 10:30 a.m., immediately following his board meeting. Instead of calling a standard ride-hailing service, James utilizes the M Hotel's priority transport link. In 2026, the hotel has integrated its concierge system with Singapore's autonomous electric shuttle network. Because M Hotel is situated at the edge of the Marina Coastal Expressway entrance, James is physically closer to the maritime artery of the city than almost any other five-star business property. The shuttle arrives at the side valet entrance, bypassing the main lobby traffic, and whisks him to the harborfront center in under 7 minutes. The real secret, however, lies in the M Hotel concierge's pre-clearance protocol. Historical trends in regional travel show that the primary time sink is not the distance, but the administrative wait. In 2026, M Hotel maintains a dedicated desk that coordinates directly with the Singapore Cruise Center and regional ferry operators. By the time James leaves his room, his digital departure card is already synced with the Immigration and Checkpoints Authority via his biometric profile. He bypasses the main terminal queues and moves through the Premier CIP, commercially important person lounge. This specific concierge hack saves him approximately 90 minutes of standing in line across both legs of the journey. Imagine if James had stayed at a resort in Sentosa or a hotel in the Civic District. He would have faced a chaotic transfer through the city's tourist traffic. By staying at M Hotel, he has utilized the hotel's geographical back door. He is in Batam by 11:30 a.m., completes his site visit, and is back on a return ferry by 4 p.m. While other executives are still stuck in the Batam Customs Hall, James is already back at M Hotel by 5:15 p.m. He has time for a 90-minute recovery session in the rooftop jacuzzi, which we discussed in the wellness section, and a quick wardrobe change before his evening gala. This is the 4-hour dividend. 90 minutes saved on transit, 60 minutes on customs, and another 90 minutes on the lack of commute to and from his home base. But the transport strategy of the M Hotel extends beyond the sea to the sky. For the U.S. business traveler, the departure from Singapore Changi Airport is often the most stressful part of the trip. Changi is a massive ecosystem, and navigating it for a 17-hour flight back to Newark or San Francisco requires precision. In 2026, M Hotel has mastered the seamless Changi exit. The data on corporate travel fatigue suggests that the final 3 hours in a city are where most travelers lose their professional edge. M Hotel solves this through its partnership with the Jewel Changi Early Check-in System and the Jetquay Sai-P Terminal. For a guest like James, the process looks like this. He checks out of M Hotel at 4 p.m. on his final day. Instead of hauling his luggage to the airport, he utilizes the hotel's invisible porter service. His bags are collected from his suite, securely transported to the airport, and checked into his flight automatically through a blockchain-verified baggage handling system. James then spends his final hours in the city not at the airport gate, but in the M Hotel Executive Club Lounge, conducting final wrap-up calls in a high-bandwidth environment. He leaves for the airport only 90 minutes before his flight. Because M Hotel sits right at the mouth of the East Coast Parkway (ECP), the drive to Changi is a straight, 20-minute shot with no traffic lights. Historical trends show that travelers exiting from the Tanjong Pagar area during the evening rush save an average of 25 minutes compared to those exiting from the Orchard or Bukit Timah districts. Once at Changi, James doesn't go to Terminal 3 or 4. He is dropped off at the Jetquay Private Terminal. This is a service that the M Hotel concierge can arrange for top-tier corporate clients. At Jetquay, James is met by a personal guest relations officer. He clears immigration in a private booth that takes less than 60 seconds. He is then driven across the tarmac in a private electric vehicle directly to the door of his aircraft. This elite departure protocol ensures that the high-level executive never has to deal with the cognitive load of a crowded airport terminal. Potential outcomes for an executive using this service include arriving back in the U.S. with significantly lower stress levels and a higher capacity to return to work immediately. We must also highlight the 2026 Smart Logistics integration within the hotel itself. M Hotel has installed a series of high-speed logistics hubs in the lobby. For the U.S. traveler who needs to ship physical prototypes, legal documents, or sensitive hardware back to the States, these hubs provide a direct link to FedEx and DHL with on-site customs documentation assistance. You are not just staying at a hotel, you are staying inside a global distribution node. James can drop a package at 8 p.m. and because of the hotel's proximity to the airport's air freight center, that package will often be on a plane to the U.S. before he even finishes his dinner. Case studies of U.S.-based law firms have shown that their partners prefer M Hotel specifically for this last-mile efficiency. In the legal world, where time is of the essence is a literal contractual requirement, the ability to shave hours off the transport and shipping cycle is a competitive advantage. The M Hotel doesn't just house the traveler, it accelerates their entire professional workflow. However, the logistics of movement are only part of the story. While James is moving through the city like a ghost, he is also part of a much larger, invisible network. The true power of the Singaporean business environment isn't just in how you move, but in who you are moving toward. Beyond the walls of the M Hotel and the corridors of the airport lies the most dense concentration of corporate influence in the Southern Hemisphere. To truly master the Singaporean assignment, you must learn how to step out of the tourist bubble and into the secret social architecture of the Tanjong Pagar Financial District. In the next part of our masterclass, we are going to explore the M Hotel's role as the anchor of the Anson Corridor. We will look at the exclusive corporate community that surrounds the hotel and the specific power spots within a 3-block radius where the city's real decisions are made. We will deconstruct the Thursday night influence phenomenon and show you how to leverage the M Hotel's reputation to gain entry into the city's most prestigious business circles. What is the one local networking secret that can bypass 6 months of cold calling? We will uncover the social engineering of the CBD next. The one local networking secret that can bypass 6 months of cold calling is a phenomenon known as the proximity validation effect. And in the high-stakes environment of 2026 Singapore, it is centered entirely on the Anson Road corridor. To understand the raw power of this, we have to look at the case study of Michael, a senior consultant for a Boston-based artificial intelligence firm. Michael is in Singapore for a 10-day stint, tasked with securing a pilot program with one of the major sovereign wealth funds located in the nearby towers. In the United States, Michael might spend months sending LinkedIn messages, navigating gatekeepers, and scheduling 20-minute Zoom calls that go nowhere. In Singapore, he uses the M Hotel as his social engineering base of operations. The strategy begins with the realization that the Singaporean business culture, while technologically advanced, is still deeply rooted in physical presence and localized trust. Historical trends in the central business district show that the most influential directors and decision-makers do not just work in the skyscrapers surrounding the M Hotel, they live their professional lives within a 3-block radius. When Michael tells a potential partner that he is staying at the M Hotel, he isn't just giving an address. He is signaling that he is part of the inner circle of the Tanjong Pagar financial district. This is the first step of the proximity validation effect. It tells the local executive that Michael is literally across the street, making an impromptu coffee or a quick debrief at the end of the day an easy yes, rather than a logistical no. Now let us analyze the Thursday night influence. In 2026, the Singaporean professional rhythm has shifted. While Friday is reserved for family and personal time, Thursday has become the undisputed peak of the corporate networking week. This is when the bars, bistros, and social clubs of the Tanjong Pagar shophouses come alive with the city's elite. Imagine if Michael attempted to navigate this from a hotel in a different district. He would be an outsider, a traveler who had to travel into the scene. Because he is at the M Hotel, he is the anchor of the scene. Step by step, Michael's Thursday night strategy looks like this. At 5:30 p.m., he transitions from his business suite to the hotel's lobby lounge for a brief 30-minute observation phase. He isn't looking for a deal yet. He is synchronizing with the energy of the crowd. He notices the groups of executives from the surrounding Mapletree Anson and International Plaza towers as they congregate before heading out. Around 6:15 p.m., Michael takes the short, 4-minute walk toward the Telok Air and Amoy Street Heritage area. This is the heart of the shophouse culture. Historic buildings that now house the most exclusive networking spots in Asia. Because Michael is situated at the M Hotel, he is able to arrive at these venues exactly as the first wave of local directors are settling in. Case studies of successful cross-cultural networking suggest that the most effective introductions happen in these third spaces, where the formal hierarchy of the office is slightly relaxed, but the professional context remains. Michael doesn't need to cold call because he is physically present in the same high-end gastropubs and cocktail lounges as his targets. In Singapore, a casual introduction at a bar in Tanjong Pagar carries more weight than a formal email from an unknown sender in Boston. Historical data indicates that business professionals who engage in this localized social engineering are 40% more likely to secure a follow-up meeting within 48 hours. Furthermore, we must consider the 2026 integration of digital networking with physical location. Many of the high-level business events in Singapore now utilize hyperlocal geolocation tags. When Michael is at the M Hotel, his professional profile is visible to other verified business travelers and local executives within the same professional zone. This creates a digital handshake that precedes the physical one. Imagine if Michael is in the hotel's executive club lounge and receives a notification that a key stakeholder he has been trying to reach is currently 2 floors away at a private event. The M Hotel acts as a physical filter, ensuring that the people he interacts with are of a specific professional caliber. The social engineering of the CBD also involves the concept of the power walk. In the morning between 8:15 a.m. and 8:45 a.m., the stretch of pavement between the M Hotel and the Tanjong Pagar MRT station is the most valuable real estate in the city for accidental encounters. For an American professional like Michael, who is used to the isolation of car-centric cities, the density of Singapore is a tactical advantage. By simply being part of the morning flow of the Anson Road corridor, he increases his surface area for luck. He might find himself in an elevator with a regional VP or standing next to a tech founder at the local coffee kiosk. These micro-interactions, facilitated by his choice of lodging, build a layer of familiarity that can be leveraged later in the week. We also have to look at the M Hotel anchor effect in the eyes of the local workforce. In 2026, there is a subtle but distinct hierarchy of hotels in the Singaporean business mind. Staying at the M Hotel signals a specific type of traveler, the focused, high-output professional who values efficiency over fluff. When Michael invites a local partner to the hotel for a meeting, he is demonstrating his own business values. He is saying, "I am here for results." This alignment of brand values is a powerful, unspoken psychological tool that can bridge the gap between US and Singaporean corporate cultures. The potential outcomes for a traveler who masters this social geography are profound. We have seen case studies where a US firm managed to bypass a competitive tender process simply because their lead consultant had built enough informal rapport with the decision-makers in the Tanjong Pagar district during a single one-week stay. This isn't about shortcuts in a negative sense. It's about the reality of how global business operates. Trust is the currency of Asia, and trust is built through repeated, high-quality physical presence. The M Hotel doesn't just provide you with a bed, it provides you with the social proof required to operate at the highest levels of the Singaporean economy. By the end of his stay, Michael isn't just another American consultant who flew in and flew out. He has become a recognizable face in the Anson corridor. He has transitioned from a name on a screen to a trusted colleague in the physical world. This is the ultimate promise of the M Hotel for the U.S. business traveler. The ability to compress years of relationship building into a single strategically located trip. You are no longer fighting the city, you are moving with it. But even with the perfect location and the perfect social strategy, there is one final piece of the puzzle that every U.S. executive must master before they can call their Singaporean mission a total success. It is the factor that determines your long-term legacy in the region and your ability to return time and time again with increasing levels of influence. Most travelers focus on the arrival and the stay, but they completely ignore the return. How do you translate a successful 10-day trip into a permanent foothold in the Asian market? In the final part of our masterclass, we are going to look at the long-game strategy. We will explore how to use the M Hotel as your permanent regional headquarters and the specific legacy hacks that will ensure your Singaporean partners are asking for your return before you've even cleared customs. We will break down the final checklist for the perfect US to Singapore business assignment and reveal the one thing you must do in your final hour at the hotel to solidify your success. What is the closing ritual that separates the one-hit wonders from the global industry leaders? We will conclude our deep dive with the master key to international expansion next. The closing ritual is a strategic sequence of actions that occurs in the final 60 minutes before an executive departs for Changi Airport, and it is designed to cement the professional gains made during the stay. To see this in practice, let us follow Kevin, a vice president of global expansion for a Denver-based software firm, as he concludes his third trip to Singapore in October 2026. Kevin has spent the last 9 days utilizing M Hotel as his tactical headquarters, and he understands that the way he exits the city will determine the ease with which he returns. In the high-context business culture of Singapore, the final impression is often the most durable. Historical trends in international relations suggest that while the initial meeting establishes the terms of a deal, the final interaction establishes the terms of the partnership. Most travelers spend their last hour frantically packing and checking their flight status. Kevin, however, treats this time as a high-value administrative window. Step by step, he executes a protocol that leverages the M Hotel's specific amenities to ensure he leaves a permanent professional footprint in the Tanjong Pagar district. First, Kevin utilizes the hotel's business center and premium stationery to perform the physicality of trust. In 2026, digital communication is the baseline, which makes physical touchpoints a premium differentiator. Kevin writes 3 handwritten notes to the local directors he met earlier in the week. He uses the M Hotel's branded letterhead because it provides a geographical anchor for the recipient. When a Singaporean executive receives a note on M Hotel stationery, it reinforces the fact that Kevin was physically present in their neighborhood, not just a passing tourist. He leaves these notes with the concierge for immediate hand delivery via local courier to the nearby office towers. This simple act, facilitated by the hotel's central location and administrative support, bypasses the digital noise of a crowded inbox and ensures Kevin's name is the last thing on the director's minds as he departs. Next, Kevin coordinates the Tanjong Pagar farewell meeting. Because M Hotel is situated at the epicenter of the financial district, he can afford to host one final, 45-minute check-in with his lead local partner in the lobby lounge just 2 hours before his flight. Imagine if Kevin were staying at a hotel further away. He would have to leave for the airport much earlier to account for traffic, forfeiting this critical touchpoint. Instead, his partner walks over from the nearby Guko Tower for a quick espresso. This is where the real, unscripted feedback happens. Away from the formal boardroom, over the neutral ground of the M Hotel lobby, Kevin gathers the soft intelligence regarding local market sentiment that wasn't shared during the official sessions. Potential outcomes of this final meeting include identifying hidden project risks, or uncovering new expansion opportunities that were previously deemed too sensitive for a formal setting. The data on long-term corporate success in Asia highlights that consistency is the primary driver of trust. To maintain this, Kevin performs the future-proofing step of his ritual. Before he checks out, he visits the executive club desk to pre-book his next 3 stays for the following year. In 2026, the demand for high-end business lodging in the Tanjong Pagar area has surged due to the completion of the Greater Southern Waterfront project. By securing his preferred suite, the one he has already optimized for his home office setup. Kevin ensures his operational continuity. He isn't just a guest. He is a recurring stakeholder in the hotel's ecosystem. This signals to the staff and to his local partners that his commitment to the region is long-term and unwavering. We must also analyze the metabolic transition. Kevin knows that a 17-hour flight to the US is a physiological ordeal. Instead of eating a heavy, sodium-rich meal at the airport, he utilizes the M Hotel's wellness-focused departure menu. He consumes a high-protein, hydration-optimized light meal, designed by the hotel's culinary team to prepare the body for the pressurized environment of a long-haul cabin. This is part of the masterclass approach to travel, treating every decision as a performance variable. By the time he steps into his airport transfer, Kevin is physically ready for the journey, rather than being in a state of post-meeting depletion. As we look back at this 10-part deep dive, we see that the choice of M Hotel Singapore is not merely a lodging decision. It is a comprehensive business strategy. We have explored how the location in the Tanjong Pagar district reduces the friction of distance, how the room configurations serve as high-output command centers, and how the social engineering of the executive club lounge facilitates the building of trust. We have deconstructed the logistics of high-performance nutrition and the biological hacks required to master a 15-hour time zone shift. Historical trends in U.S. corporate travel suggest that firms which adopt this integrated lodging strategy report a higher return on their international travel budgets. Case studies of mid to large cap American companies indicate that when an executive's environment is optimized for productivity, the success rate of the assignment increases significantly. The M Hotel is the physical manifestation of this optimization. It is a tool designed for the global executive who recognizes that in the competitive landscape of 2026, there is no such thing as just a hotel. Every detail, from the speed of the Wi-Fi to the proximity of the MRT station, is a gear in the machinery of your career. Kevin's departure from the M Hotel is as seamless as his arrival. His luggage has already been processed through the early check-in system we discussed in Part 8. He clears the lobby in under 60 seconds via the biometric checkout kiosk. As his vehicle pulls away from 81 Anson Road and enters the ECP highway toward Changi, Kevin is not looking back with the fatigue of a traveler who has survived a trip. He is looking forward with the clarity of a strategist who has conquered a market. He has used the hotel as a lever to multiply his influence, and the results will be evident in his firm's quarterly reports long after he has returned to Denver. The master key to international expansion is the realization that you cannot dominate a market if you are a stranger to its rhythm. By choosing M Hotel, you are choosing to synchronize with the pulse of Singapore. You are choosing to be present where the power is concentrated and to operate with the efficiency that the local culture demands. This is the difference between a tourist who happens to be doing business and a global leader who is at home in any major financial hub. As we conclude this deep dive, the question for the U.S. business traveler is no longer where to stay, but how to leverage the environment they have chosen. We have provided the manual. The execution is now in your hands. But the story of the Singaporean economic miracle is still being written, and the landscape of the city continues to evolve. While Tanjong Pagar remains the anchor, new districts are emerging that will redefine the next decade of Asian commerce. If you are serious about your long-term legacy in this region, you must stay ahead of the urban curve. In our next series, we will expand our view beyond the individual stay and look at the Singapore 2030 Master Plan. We will analyze the specific infrastructure projects and economic zones that will dictate the next wave of U.S. investment. We will look at how the physical connectivity between the CBD and the new digital corridors will create a new Singapore, and what that means for your corporate travel strategy. The world is moving fast and the Lion City is moving faster. We will show you how to ensure you are never left behind. The next evolution of your global strategy begins with understanding where the city is going next. Stay tuned for the deep dive into the future of the Asian headquarters.